Leaving Las Vegas, Lou Reed and Ronald Reagan are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is October 27th, 2022. It is the 300th day of the year. You got 65 days left. It is the 43rd Thursday in the 43rd week and the 36th day of fall. We got 55 days until winter. We've had some good storms here. The rain finally showed up in Portland, Oregon. It's been kind of nice. Today is National Civics Day. National Civics Day is on October 27th, and it celebrates the importance of civic education all across America. The observance also commemorates the date the Federalist Papers were first published in 1787. These documents served as the foundation for the United States Constitution. Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison wrote 85 essays under the pen name Publius. These essays were published in newspapers across New York State. The Federalist Papers, also known as the Federalists, supported the passing of the United States Constitution and urged citizens to ratify the legislation. Hamilton, Jay, and Madison's essays outlined the Constitution, providing a thorough explanation for citizens. All right, let's see what else October 27th has given us. 1795, the United States and Spain signed the Treaty of Madrid, which establishes the boundaries between the Spanish colonies and the U.S. 1810, the United States annexes the former Spanish colony of West Florida. 1904, the first underground New York City subway line opens, later designated as IRT Broadway 7th Avenue Line. 1962, Major Rudolph Anderson of the United States Air Force becomes the first and only direct human casualty of the Cuban Missile Crisis when his U-2 reconnaissance airplane is shot down over Cuba by a Soviet-supplied surface-to-air missile. 1964, Ronald Reagan delivers a speech on behalf of the Republican candidate for president Barry Goldwater. The speech launches his political career and becomes known as A Time for Choosing. 1988, the Cold War. Ronald Reagan suspends construction of the new U.S. Embassy in Moscow due to listening devices in the building's structure. Now, this wasn't the first time something like this had happened at an embassy. I mean, they claim they found listening devices the United States placed in their embassy in Washington, D.C. And the old building that we had in Moscow also had listening devices found. The old building was the embassy from 1934 to 1953. In 1953, the embassy moved to the existing office building they currently have. During that period, 1953 to 1976, the Soviets irradiated the U.S. Embassy in Moscow with microwaves in the Moscow signal incident. In 1964, covert listening devices were discovered within the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. They also had a fire in 1977, and then later on they found out that several of the firefighters were in fact KGB agents, and they were charged with removing sensitive material. But in 1979, construction started on this new building. Part of the agreement was that they had to have Soviet or Russian, whatever you want to call them, workers work on this embassy, which to me doesn't sound like a really good idea because now you got the same problem you've had many other times, people placing listening devices. Anyway, big nightmare. Eventually they find in this construction some more listening devices and Reagan suspends the whole project. In May of 2000, the construction of the new building was finally completed and the new building was finally opened in June of 2000, with classified business being confined to the upper floors. 1997, the 1997 Asian financial crisis causes a crash in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. 2018, a gunman opens fire on a Pittsburgh synagogue, killing 11 and injuring 6. This included 4 police officers. That's just a shame, really is. Movies released on October 27, 1995, Leaving Las Vegas. Now, this is an interesting movie, and I'll tell you why. Let me give you the brief rundown of it. An alcoholic Hollywood screenwriter goes to Las Vegas to drink himself to death when he meets and falls in love with a working girl played by Elizabeth Shue. There's a few things I want to say about this movie. Number one, I think it was Nicolas Cage's best acting role he's ever given, and he won an Academy Award from it, so that makes sense. The movie is autobiographical. It was written by a man named John O'Brien. He was an American author. His first novel was Leaving Las Vegas, and it was published in 1990 and made into a film of the same name that Nicolas Cage was in 1995. John O'Brien took his own life on April 10th, 1994, at the age of 33. He did this in his Beverly Hills apartment 2 weeks after learning that his novel, Leaving Las Vegas, was being made into a movie. His father says that the novel was his suicide note. After his death, they published 2 more of his novels, both of which were left unfinished at the time of his death but were completed by his sister. There was a 3rd one called Better, but that one was really only partially done, and they had someone else finish it, and they published it. Now, here's one other thing I want to say about this movie. Don't watch it. Don't watch it unless you're really into being depressed and sad, because this movie is a long, painful experience. Born on October 27th, 1939, the great John Cleese. He is a Monty Python comedic actor and writer who played a role in the movie A Fish Called Wanda, which is an excellent movie. His most timeless works include Monty Python and the Holy Grail, The Meaning of Life, and Life of Brian. As a voice actor, he played Samuel the Sheep in Charlotte's Web. He studied law at Cambridge. He wrote and acted on The Frost Report. Very funny man. Love John Cleese. Died on October 27th, 2013, we lost Lou Reed, rock and roll musician and singer who was the frontman for the band The Velvet Underground and made a solo debut with Walk on the Wild Side. Lou Reed was suffering from a number of ailments, hepatitis, diabetes, and eventually was diagnosed with liver cancer. In May of 2013, he underwent a liver transplant at the Cleveland Clinic. Afterwards, on his website, he wrote he was feeling bigger and stronger than ever before, but on October 27, 2013, he died of liver disease at his home in East Hampton, New York at the age of 71. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day, and be nice to each other.